back to Hiveswap Friendsim. A little fair warning, I am a little sicky, and my voice isn't doing quite what I want it to be doing today, but we're gonna do the best that we can. So this episode, we have two very loved characters, but also kind of the ones that people don't talk about as much. Ones that I have been rather indifferent on, but I'm hoping that these opinions of mine will change today. So, let's just jump right into it with Volume 13 of Fate, Fortune, and Fashion, which I really didn't think that the fashion one was going to be Stelsa, because I didn't think she had a fashion sense, because, girl, that shade of pink is, not really a good look. Okay, this is a mood. Alright, blah blah blah, friendship, blah. I really didn't feel like having anything to write today. Okay, so we're gonna start this off with Stelsa says, what? Yeah. So I'm excited to play her route, actually, because, I don't want to say she's my least favorite teal, but she's the one that I've shown the least interest in. Like, when her Troll Call card first came out, I was like, I'm not really that into it. But here's to hoping that I will be rather into it. Her and her pink bathrobe looking ass, big titty, femme GF. Alright, also, I'm curious to find out how being troll Jewish comes into play, so let's find out. Oh, it's a rainy day. This music is cute. Hopefully it isn't overpowering my voice, which I don't think it is, since it's actually kind of quiet. For me, at least. We're gonna figure that out in post, because I'm not actually gonna do anything about it if it is too loud. Okay. Okay. So, it turns out, stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed enough to its weird insides by now that the squishiness doesn't much faze you anymore. It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but you can actually find it kind of comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Okay, I think I am going to turn the music down a little bit just because it seems louder to me now. So, options. Turn you down a wee bit. That should be fine. Yeah, I already read that? Yeah. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Sarava Stream on your phone if you really want to get a chill vibe going. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet, dastardly carjacker that you are, but maybe you're just a better thief than you've always thought. A possible career change to look into if you ever get back to Earth. The downside is that it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering even more friendship from the inside of a vehicle. So you'd park the scuttle buggy and expose yourself to the menaces of the outside world once more. You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It isn't as nice as the blue blood neighborhoods you've seen, but it's still nice enough for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locked front gates, and security drones. But of course, you can't take a leisurely stroll on Alternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for a very long time before it starts raining. Shit, damn, and fuck. You ditched the umbrella Torona had given you since it was as heavy as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it. Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably underneath it. The rain doesn't let up. You'll have to move soon. The security drones are beginning to look like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. You need to make a decision and fast. Let's see. No, I don't need to save. It's not much. Let's try and get into one of the buildings. There's no way you're getting into any of these without a passcode. But wait, you think you see someone coming your way. Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor? So what? You're telling me that my appointment is cancelled? I know you're going to hate the voice that I'm doing for her, but this is what I decided on as soon as I saw she was coming out. You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point at yourself questioningly, thinking she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset. Jeremy! Okay, hold on. Okay, that was stupidly funny. Okay. Jeremy used to be so on the ball. Remember the time he gave me a full prong beautifying procedure right after that high blood ripped his arm off? But now we get bounce back from one little thresher in the abdominal sausages. What happened? That boy's losing his touch. Looks like she's coming back from a jog, if the running shorts or anything to go by. She's wearing running shorts? If she's at all bothered by the acid glancing off of her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparks in their wake, she isn't showing it. She seems much more preoccupied by the harried conversation she's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power walking to the entrance of this building, which must mean she lives here. This is your chance! You shuffle along under the awning, pressing yourself close to the side of the building, bug-like. You sort of wish she'd encountered you earlier when you were dodging rain like a rad action hero. Now you just sort of look cowardly and pathetic. Especially compared to her. She's striding along like absolutely nothing is gonna get in the way of whatever business she's got going on, let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she doesn't notice you until you're standing right next to her. Such an inconvenience. You can fully expect that I will be taking my business elsewhere from now on. Oh my, what do we have here? She's gonna be really hard to read because there's no punctuation whatsoever. It's like CarCap at worse. She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly that it makes your head spin. Take this down. Strange little hornless creature parked in my front of home, very puny and scared looking. Let me try that again. Strange little hornless creature parked in front of home, very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone has been talking about. Such an opportunity can't go to waste now, can it? You're confused again, looking around to see who she might be talking to, but there's nobody else here. Maybe she's dictating notes to her phone? Look at you! We can't have you wandering around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you ravishing? Do give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. My name's Stelsa, Audit-terrorizer? Yeah. Audit-terrorizer in training for the Alternian Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk. Ooh, bitch means business. You didn't realize that that borrowed hoodie was that impressive of a look, but okay. She produces a business card with one hand and inputs some numbers into a panel with the other. You take the card. It's a struggle to process what she's saying, respond to her questions, and introduce yourself, all while experiencing the verbal equivalent of getting hit by a truck. How is it possible to talk so fast without talking? I need to take a breath, goddamn! How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waits for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do. So do tell me, do you run any business on your planet? If you do, I would be more than happy to offer my services. They are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. I'll make sure everything is running in a tip-top shape. I'm so happy to have run into you. Ever since Zizi told me that she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. Zizi? Is that Tizius? Zizi? So very important for a professional to continue growing her network, especially intergalactically, don't you agree? She's still busying herself with her phone while talking to her, texting on its tiny keyboard. The name ZZ doesn't ring any bells. You flip through the Rolodex in your brain, trying to remember. Have you really made so many friends that you're beginning to forget their names? You're a little impressed with yourself. It feels like only yesterday that you were crawling around in the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver. Just a single friend to your name. Good times. You come so far since then. It brings a single, sentimental tear to your eye. Wait. Stelza's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Tizius' maid Sprish, so she must be talking about Tizius. Finally, we know! Not who I was expecting it to be, but I'm okay with this. Murderous, stabbing, very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Tizius, of course. You're at the door to her hive. She unlocks it, letting you both in. Come in. Welcome to Ches Says Yacht. Make yourself at home. Can I get you anything? Water, grub cake, my rates sheet? I'm not really seeing the click between her and Tizius right now. Maybe because she has so much energy, and Tizius has none of it, that they balance each other out perfectly. I would love to continue our chat while I am a little less sweaty. Also, acid wreaks absolute havoc on the skin. You know how it is. I'll just jump into the ablution trap for a minute. Please excuse me. Won't be long. Back in 2 shakes of Quackbeat's gastric evacuation pillow. Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering that a bucket load of acid falling on you would leave you either very injured or very dead, and she's already gone. You're a little relieved. It's not that Stelsa isn't friendly. She's plenty friendly. She just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on her to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off. Or, well, she seems like she wants you as some sort of work contact. Not a friend, but that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shoosh papper, murder accomplice. Business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list. Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you can take a proper look around her hive. You're not sure what's more perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized that it's making you a little uncomfortable. It's like you merely standing here is disrupting the careful order of the room. Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displayed on a little label on each shelf. She also has a lot of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath striking nature photography. Oh, is that Tizius' jacket over there on the couch? That's cute. Is that a fire flower? Whack. That's pretty whack. Hold on, is that like... There's like a little... I just want to look at the backgrounds for a second here. Okay, what has she got? She's got Tizius' jacket, books everywhere, post-it notes all over the place. There's a fire flower tacked to the wall. There's something in the back there that has a guitar on it. There's a poster up here, which is like the little hang in there, kitty poster, except there's a grub on there, and it looks rather disturbed. So, I'm gonna look up later, see if somebody can translate that, because it's probably not that nice. There's a little poster of the sun. She's got weights. She's got a little exercise thingy, which I'm not gonna get the name of wrong right now, because I don't want to mess with that. And then there's a bust of a head. Whose head? I guess we'll never know. Okay, and then she's got her desk and a little desk light, and... Anyway, this is really cute. The only normal-looking spot in the hive is a coffee table with a mishmash of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think that might be a mug? None of those items strike you as being particularly Stelza's style. The overall effect is that of a very pink, very neat office cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Stelsa reemerges, her hair wrapped in a towel. Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get lunch sometime, keep the conversation going. I'll pencil you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with. That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on her bulletin board. It's a blaze of color with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. And you have no idea when she might be available next, and you need her sweet, sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever problem she has is something you could help with? Unless you're a ludicrously talented beautician, I think not. My usual place bumped me off their list, and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things to really knock their socks off. If I want to make an arrangement at another salon, I shall have to move fast and no time to waste. I'm gonna save and then flirt with this bitch. Who needs a beautician when you're around? Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? I guess I'm gonna beautician her. You have absolutely no professional beauty experience, but Sarava did give you that crash course in crafting great looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you're sure you can whip something up. You tell her that you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive. Oh, how nice of you. I've never had a house call before. Let's do this. Oh, it's so pink. Oh, that's a really cute raccoon. What the fuck? It's so stylish. She leads you into the next room, rubbing her hair dry as she goes. There's a raccoon in one corner and a vanity in the other. Oh, wait, did I say that right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a raccoon in one corner and a vanity in the other, with an array of poofs. Yeah? Is that what those guys called? Brushes and other mysterious implements spread out on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. What the fuck could those possibly be for? Oh well, you're sure you'll be able to figure out what they're all for once you start using them. Stelsa takes a seat in the chair in front of the vanity, folding her hands primly in her lap. Primly? Okay, whatever. So, darling, what do you think we should do? What do you think? Okay. So, darling, what do you think? What should we do first? It's all up to you. Not this time. Not this again. Why are you always making the decisions around here? What wouldn't you give to be able to foist your own life choices on random people you've just met? It would be refreshing. Oh, let's style the hair first. I don't want to fuck with horns just yet. The first order of business should be drying Stelsa's hair. You pick up a funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer, fumbling around for a button. There isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze. The mouth of the funnel opens wide, emitting a hot blast of air, along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside? Just don't think about it too much. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any Alternian gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades to a low hum. Here, use this! Stelsa passes you a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful, but when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily. Interesting being in this position for once. When Tizius is usually over, I am the one doing this. You try to imagine Tizius letting someone give her a sweet do. Even when it's her girlfriend in question, you have a hard time picturing it. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty, musical laugh. No. My dear Zizi isn't one for involved beauty rituals. She usually doesn't let me do more than just brush it, but it's still relaxing. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it, casting around for something to talk about. That's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up casual conversation. Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair care or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on the coffee table, it's strewn too haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. You think that you see something of the tabs Tizius was using on the notes for her group project. And even if you look closer, you think you catch the words revolt and history in the page header. Right, as Tizius' mate Brit, Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system from inside too, after she becomes an auditor. You remark that you think it's really cool what she and Tizius are doing. It might be scary to stick it to the man like that, but someone has to do it. Okay, it's not exactly light conversation, but talking to Tizius about this has been so enlightening, if sad, and you'd really bonded over it. Maybe you'll be able to bond with Stelsa the same way. I hope she knows. Oh, fuck. But Stelsa only looks confused, then her eyes flick down to the book just for a second before she reaches out, smartly snaps it shut, and squirrels it away in one of the drawers. The sound of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you narrowly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair. I'm quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sticking anything anywhere. Definitely not to any man. And neither is Tizius. She's sitting straight and tense in the chair, now her voice soaring to the high bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no. She probably doesn't know you're on their side. Tizius might not have told her about your conversation. It's okay, you're not going to tell anyone. You're sworn to secrecy, but Stelsa averts her eyes and a stubborn set to her chin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about, not a single clue. Tizius and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What would that possibly accomplish? She wrings her hands distractedly. We do things the way we do in Alternia for a reason, darling. Without the humospectrum and the roles we each need to play, why, the world would be even plunged into complete chaos. Can you even imagine? Trolls running around not knowing which way is up and not knowing which way is up, doing whatever they please, and no one to tell them what their place in the world is. She goes from hand-wringing to gesticulating wildly, almost knocking a row of jars off the table, positively frantic at the prospect of societal breakdown. It's better for everyone this way. I truly believe that. You're beginning to realize that you might have to put your foot in your mouth. Just a little bit. Stuffed a toe or two in that gob of yours, maybe? She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible that Stelsa really does side with what Tizius had called her, the Condis? And that she doesn't know about Tizius Underground's research after all? But the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this is clearly distressing Stelsa, though, so you drop it, focusing on finishing up her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure you've styled it correctly, but she seems pleased. Great work, nice, fantastic, you did an excellent job. You glow at the praise. You'd say thanks, but she's already passing you a bottle of nail polish. She really wants you to go all the way, huh? You twist it open and get to work. You'd been focused on not smudging the teal color over the staly points of her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence. I have a question for you. You nod, sticking your tongue out in concentration. So I have this acquaintance. This is the most tentative you've heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it. They are in a quadrant with someone who harbors views most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous. She's obviously talking about herself and Tizius, but you don't want to point that out in the case she gets upset again, so you just nod along thoughtfully. She didn't always. The matesprit, I mean. It will blow over at some point. She must be going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she could get into so much trouble. Stelsa's lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. You chew on the inside of your cheek, trying to figure out what to say. Talking to Tizius very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? She looks to the drawer. So do you. Nope. You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all? Absolutely not. Alright. Okay. You can do this. A good first step might be for her friend to face up to the issue, you know, if there's a chance that they might have the tiniest inkling about what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah? You're no expert, but open discussion probably helps with relationship problems quite a bit. Plus, you ruminate to yourself. The more you think about it, the less it seems that Tizzy is leaving her controversial book out like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stelsa's chair, after all. Maybe Tizius wanted to see it. You'd slick the last bit of color onto Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago, but you're both too wrapped up in the conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while the two of you continue to talk. But my friend does not agree with her matesprit's sentiments. Discussing it would just cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it? Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Besides, quadrant mates can coexist regardless of differing beliefs, right? Yeah, you don't sound convincing even to yourself, but the platitudes seem to comfort Stelsa somewhat. Maybe you're right. Carefully, mindful of her just-dried nails, she wipes away a few tears, much to your horror. Was that the wrong thing to say? But then you notice that she's smiling. I have not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about it was truly a load off my bellow sac cavity. I am certain my friend will be grateful, as well I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate to very much when it comes to Alternian life, but boy, can you relate to relationship drama, and trolls sure seem to have plenty of it. You hope everything turns out alright for her friend. Since her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet, you retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold it out to her, hoping that will help. She pulls out a few and blows her nose on them with a sad honking noise. I should finish getting ready. She seems reluctant to get up, though. You'd probably be the same, knowing you had to head into a serious business meeting after spilling your heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring. Eventually, though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to your surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug. Thank you. You're a real friend. And there it is. Not colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Oh, she's so cute. Seriously? Jesus, Protag, you're a pale whore. What the fuck? That was cute. But then, like, now I'm worried as to how bad the bad ending is. Although, hold on. I could do something else, right? I could polish her horns, so I want to try that first. So let's polish her horns. You pick up a velvety piece of cloth, bringing it up to Stelsa's head. There's only one thing this could be for, right? Wait, what are you going to do with that? Polish her horns to an impressive sheen, of course. They'll be positively gleaming by the time you're done with them. She grabs her wrist with one hand before you can do so. She's deceptively strong, holding you in such an ironclad grip that you can't move your arm at all. You'd been low-key admiring her toned arms earlier, but now you know for sure that the rack of hot pink dumbbells in the living room aren't just for show. Instead of looking pleased with what you proposed to do, she looks uneasy, possibly even a little embarrassed. I swear to God, if this has something to do with horn sensitivity, I'm gonna fucking pee my pants. Polish my... You barely get a glimpse of her discomfited expression before she's gracing you with another friendly smile, albeit a bit of a strained one. You know, I think I'm having second thoughts. It's reasonable to expect that an alien like you wouldn't know the first thing about troll grooming habits. My mistake, I should have accounted for such cultural differences. But it's quite alright, I shall figure something else out. Is it just you, or was there a pointed pause before cultural differences? She's getting up again. Wait, what's happening? You thought the two of you were going to bond over a sweet makeover session, but she's pushing you back into the main area of her hive, pretty forcefully too. Thank you for offering your help, dear. So very kind of you, but I'll manage. Great to meet you. Just wonderful. Call me. Take care. Have a nice life. Toodles. Goodbye. She shoots you another lovely yet very clearly fake smile and shoves you out the door. You'll be able to wait out the rain just fine in this hallway, but being sprawled on your ass on Stelsa's welcome mat all by your lonesome just isn't the same as hanging with a new friend. Bad touch, I'm guessing? I'm hoping it's not like a horn sensitivity thing as much as it is like that's too fucking intimate. I mean, I guess they kind of go hand in hand. But I'm a non-believer of sensitive troll horns and like stupid comics where you like rub the... You know what? No, this game may be rated M, but I'm not about to make this fucking not safe for work. Alright, let's do the bad one, I guess. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment a while ago, but it was a quick one. I could do well to cast my ganderballs around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher, and there's no way I can flub it. She's gonna flub it, probably. Having Ramel Namak as a client would be too good of a cluck beast plume in my pen lid for me to chuck the opportunity in the load gaper. Ramel? You totally know her! How about that? I didn't fucking do that right on my channel, though. Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out her competitor like that, I've never heard the likes of it before. She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, nipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow her hair dry before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tail her as best as you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip at her at every turn. Maintaining a career successful yet relatively avant-garde artist is very different to assuming ownership of and managing a museum, and yet she has made it work. Whoa, sounds like Ramel has been busy the last time you saw her. You clarify that Ramel is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks. Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 on Ramel from a friend of hers could really give me a front up. What do you say? You're not sure that there's much to tell. You can tell Stelsa about Ramel. You're pretty sure Ramel doesn't want an auditor in training, or, well, anyone really knowing that she's an art thief. But, why not? There has to be some stray info about Ramel knocking around in the old noggin that might come in useful. Marvelous! Come on, you can tell me on the way. She takes her hand and pulls you out the door. You offer Stelsa a ride in your totally not stolen scuttle buggy. It's still raining, but she shields you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are when you walk to where it's parked. You get in, put some tunes on for the road, and head off. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do the very beginning bad ending. Whatever. Once you're on your way, you admit to Stelsa that most of your and Ramel's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off of you for her webcomic, but you're still happy to answer any questions you might have about Ramel's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege! To be completely truthful, I am quite the fan and have been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think that liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not! Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when I have so much other business to attend to. Lots of irons in the fire over here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. Stop calling me out! You know I like Homestuck or I wouldn't be playing this! Maybe, but hobbies and downtime are important too. You never feel more rested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. Homestuck is all I do in my life! You're snatching my weave, Stelsa! What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest. Oh, I always make sure to get enough recuperation every day. No concerns there, to be sure. What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep, but you try a different tack. Why is she taking this job with Ramel anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternatian government as well, but there can never be enough experience under one's belt. You and your GF need to learn how to take a fucking nap. Jesus, you're both so stressed out. You're beginning to see what the problem is. You get the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic. Just vaguely. Has she ever considered... You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa that of the merits of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums. Fiddlesticks! We can't go this way! There's road work happening here! The scuttlebuggy must be operating with an outdated map! Switch it to manual and turn us around, quick! Quick! The roadwork Stelsa is referring to is a bridge with a do not enter sign hastily put up. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Some look big enough for the entire car to fall through easily. What are you waiting for? Hurry! Well, there is one small problem. You can't drive. Oh, fudge nuggets! I'm so sorry if my mic is peaking. Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly. Your only goal is to make sure that you don't drive onto the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope curving away from the road. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Is that blood? Fuck. You both yell as the scuttlebuggy nooms downwards at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. If it wasn't for the unnerving lung-like airbags that inflate in front of you, you would have shot out the front window. Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa is okay. Stelsa doesn't... her hair doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not. She's making futile attempts to pull the airbag. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way we'll make my meeting on time now. And I look like an absolute mess. She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle, soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions, and her glasses have smashed in the collision. You don't look smashed. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. The car might have survived a crash, but if Stelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by, your budding friendship with her wasn't as lucky. This is so sad. What happened to my scuttle buggy? Oh god, the legs. It's terrifying. Okay, well now her coat actually looks like a fucking bathrobe because it's all like fuzzy, scuffed up. Also, before anybody tries to get on my ass with the discourse, yes, I know it's a coat, I know it's not a bathrobe, but it looks like one, kind of. Alright, let's just go back and get this last ending. The only one that I'm missing when I go back to my car. It's parked a ways down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon the security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Ontardian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them at all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear-ass rain. You probably would have had better luck with the security drones. That's cool. Just fucking melt. Yeah, alright, fine. That's cool. Cool, I guess. Okay, well, thank you for stopping by and watching this episode of Friendsim. Final notes. Stelsa's cute. I really don't have a whole lot to say. I'm gonna look more into the Stelsa and Tizia's ship, because right now, as it stands, just like not having seen any interactions with them, I'm not super attached to it yet. But that may change if I look a little more into it and if the fandom jumps on that shit. Woohoo! Okay, so Stelsa's a good girl. She's good. I'm just not all that attached quite yet. But yeah, thanks for checking in. Next episode I'll be doing Boulder, so keep an eye out for that one. Yeah, go watch it. Okay, bye!